Hey everybody, it's Corey from Unified Masters. So, I'm outside right now because it is absolutely gorgeous outside. Been asleep for most of the day as there's been a big amount of clearing. As you can see, work is just is. So I'm making this video because we're finalizing some of the last bits of clearing, which is all associated with the masculine and the Luciferian, the satanic lines that run through the masculine collective and run through the masculine embodiment. A lot of this dealing with, more of the, first off, the crucifixion implants and those technologies that have really fed into the doubt of the mastery of self, dealing more with a lot of the addiction issues, a lot of the things that kept us suppressed from knowing our power or being able to tune into our past lives. And this is all also coming down into a lot of what happened in the World War II with the Nazi regime, and going further back into the Roman times, as well as some Greek stuff as well. I'm not too privy onto all of these lines, as the people that are on the forefront of this clearing are the ones that know exactly where these lines exist, and they're actually over there on the ground doing that right now. But I wanted to come forth and talk about what to expect during this level of clearing. So once this gets anchored in and you start to feel this cellular release, you might start to feel more of a burning sensation in your body, or you're heating up a lot. That's a lot of these cleansing cycles and the purification that's happening as a result of these timeline release. Also, since it is a collective timeline that we're releasing, you might be feeling it in your shoulders. That's where a lot of the collective timelines are held, or in the shoulders. Might be called to sleep after we got the finalization that it was all done, and we grounded in my portion of it. I fell asleep for about 5 or 6 hours. There was a lot of heavy anxiety in my sleepscape as the cells were starting to dissolve those timelines, and that was my call, was to just rest. Samantha's actually asleep right now. She's sleeping too because she's got some lines held into those timelines. And for me, the connection point for the timelines that were released for me were in my kidneys. So big thing, drink lots of water. Let your body flush and detox it naturally. I've been keeping with a lot of lighter foods to stay more high vibe through this. So I've been eating more fruit, lots of avocados. That's something I hadn't eaten in a while, and now I'm popping back on the avocado diet. Drinking lots of water, taking it easy. A big thing too was a big emotional release, so a lot of tears, but it was like an overwhelming feeling of freedom. It wasn't really nearly as dark as it was over the past 24 hours through this release. And a lot of that too is just the winter solstice. We have the shortest days of the year happening. When I think of wintertime, naturally to me, just based on the seasons that I grew up in, is more of a time of covering up, adding layers. So there's that warmth to it, but also that kind of that darker kind of feeling through the wintertime. So a lot of this is coinciding with the seasons as well. There's also that collective holiday blues that's coming about. I'm kind of disconnected from that because it's been, I'm not really focused on the holidays this year. Thank you to not having a lot of money. I don't have to stress about that. And also the awakening process too, just enjoying more of being with family is really helped. But I wanted to come on and do more anchoring of this. I'm going to link a video that has more discussion on what was cleared exactly when that's released. So with that, I'm going to go into light language to help finalize this and seal in this part of my process for what we are doing. Akurukatin santo na chekatar ukonaya ukalafi. Is an ukututu is it atakani ik otopok un urukawa. Eshantanini is aru uturukus ich and arukalaku. Iviaya konayu koru uk uya sanaturu. Is arukulaki. Isantor uk ut olona nakita ka of ut uk ushisekia pauva and ik uta. So with that, we're going to be releasing a lot more fear from ourselves, being able to own more of our mastery and who we are. There's a lot of trauma associated with when we start to step into who we are, related to persecution, being exiled from families, from religious organizations. We can even look at the Salem witch trials of being burned at the stake. And even a recent persecution, such as, psych hospitals, heavy medications, when we start to really own our mastery and start to believe in our power. So all that is being released right now, at a cellular level. And so the call is to just drink lots of water, take it easy. If you start feeling the heavy burning sensation going on, take showers. So as this is being purged from our cells, it's being sent through our skin. So you might notice your skin is a lot more shiny, like mine is very shiny. This is the crystallization process. So if you see, this is not oils. I actually just hopped out of the shower. I just came out of the shower. And so that's the release, and that's the crystallization of our body that's occurring. And so as this programming is relieving, the call is to take a shower and to cleanse it off, wash it off, as our body is detoxing and purging it. I don't recommend just hopping straight into a bath, because what you're doing is you're releasing it in the bath and then just kind of sitting and soaking in it. So try to do like a nice warm shower to cleanse yourself off using sea salt. Scrubbing your body with sea salt really helps. And then doing like an Epsom salt bath, letting the magnesium soak into the skin, as that helps with the muscle aches, has been really, really, really helpful. It's my number one ascension tip for anyone that's going through the body aches is Epsom salt baths. Let me think of what else. So calming teas have been really helpful. So a lot of chamomile tea. Trying to limit caffeine, that's what I've been doing recently. I'm normally a drink coffee all day drinker, and yeah, I know it's not healthy, it's just the way I am. So I love coffee. I love my caffeine. But limiting the caffeine, drinking lots more water. Alkaline water is really going to help if you can get alkaline water. Coconut water, too, has been a big call, and that was one that was suggested to me because there's codes actually in the coconut water that is going to help during this process and this time. And so it's such a beautiful feeling. Even though there's a lot of like heat strolling through my body, a lot of purification going on, and a lot of release, there's this overwhelming sense of like being able to take a deep breath. And it's really helping in meditation. It's really helping in self-assurance that the work is actually paying off, because for a while, the workload, at least when I stepped into the journey, I mean, I know it used to be way, way more less hopeful. Years back, I kind of hopped in on the phase of the journey, being a second waver, and just during my time of ascension when I showed up at the forefront of doing this, where it's a lot easier than it used to be. And so a lot of gratitude goes out to the first wavers and to those that have been, carrying the torch for so long through this process. And, our earth guardians and our gatekeepers and our grid workers that have been going out and have been doing this and have been, not, the work of the grid keeper, especially in the grid worker, that of the ones that I know, they don't get paid to do this. They've got to find ways to afford to go out and to travel to these spots and then allow the universe to take over everything. But, I wanted to give a big thank you to our earth elders and to those that have been carrying the weight of this for so long. And even those that recently decided to throw in the towel, because I do know there's a lot of, older grid workers and grid keepers and gatekeepers that have decided to kind of step on and to let the second wavers step up and start to do their thing. And granted, I'm not traveling yet. I've only done, one big grid working trip. across the 33rd parallel when I landed out here in Texas. But I am remotely connected to someone right now that's doing some wonderful grid work, and I want to thank him for all he's doing for the Masculine Collective and all the masculines involved for that are connected to this project in releasing all this stuff and being able to free not only ourselves, but we're freeing the feminine as well, and helping to remove those overlays of the Luciferian aspects of the masculine that have really separated the masculine and the feminine in embodiment, but also within, and now allowing that opportunity to rebuild the connection so we can have a clear line of communication within and really come into harmony and wholeness and oneness with being able to speak from the soul and being able to be more intuitive and be more soft and more loving. And so with that, yasaru ukonataki yasaru utonauka whichtaki ipepik utonoro hurukus utoru inauta us upor ukurupa iviaikun us or ukututus itikinauta ikai atorosa ishanton or utukutua intis ai utokus yohan or ukwa. Signed and sealed, done. Gonna start this process of clearing. I love you all. Thank you so much for anchoring this in, for being a part of this beautiful journey with all of us. The collective ascension is, it's got its moments. And today, with the sun nice and bright and this nice golden hue and the shinies of the crystalline structures building within, I'm very proud to say that we're making big progress, and I can see it and I can feel it. So much love and respect to everybody out there. I love you all, and I will see you on the other side. Namaste.